Hello, and today we are with Mr. Deiv Salutskij, who is the Managing Director of Campus Edge Finland. Good morning to you, Dave.
Good morning, Stephen.
Now, you've been with Campus Edge now for 2 or 3 years. Could you tell us, Campus Edge Finland, how has it been this year, 2018, for you compared to the 2017?
Well, we are getting more customers and more interest. It takes time because people are not so fast in deciding these things, although the investment is really very small.
What is it Campus Edge Finland does?
Well, we market this product and sell it, of course. And we have also done lectures in the hotel school, Haga-Helia Applied Sciences, about how to attract Chinese tourists. And with HSMIE, we've done it with my colleague Cho in ITB Berlin and in Oslo, and he did it in Amsterdam also. And there was quite an interest. We had about in Oslo we had about 70 people, and in ITB we had about 50 people.
Now, I must say it's a privilege to talk to you today, because when it comes to experts on the Finnish market, the hotel market, there are very few people who are more knowledgeable about the industry than you are. Could you give us a little bit of background in terms of your background? What makes you, as I say, such an important mix for this company?
Well, I worked in many different countries with different cultures, with the Hilton chain, with the Sheraton, with the Ramada, and then in a Finnish chain, and I was in charge of international sales for my last jobs before I left the company, because I had to, because I retired. But I wanted to work with something interesting, and I found this very interesting. My network is both in Finland and globally quite good. Because of my alma mater, Cornell Hotel School, we have the Cornell Hotel Society, which gives a nice contact network, so to speak. And friends too.
You have been the president, I believe.
Yeah, I've been the president of our Cornell Hotel Society. That was 2010. But of course, I've been working very actively with it since my graduation a long time ago. I've been all over the meetings, you know, in the Far East and in Europe. In Europe, I've missed, I think, 2 meetings since 1971.
Now, you and I are of a similar age, but the younger people within the industry may not understand why Cornell is so important to the travel, hotel and hospitality industry. Why is Cornell so important, and why do you feel people, the young generation, should be involved with it?
Well, I think Cornell Hotel School, our School of Hotel Administration at Cornell University, which is now part of the business school, Johnson Business School in Cornell, opens the door for any young graduate, and to get in there you're privileged. The only problem maybe is that the studies are extremely expensive. I think it's around $75,000 that they estimate per year, you know, with everything, or maybe a little bit less, I'm not sure. One of my duties that I've done for now 25 years, we've had auctions in our meetings and collected scholarship money for Europeans going to Cornell. But of course, there are many other schools in Europe now that are maybe less expensive, making it more affordable. But the Cornell experience and the network that you get through Cornell Hotel Society, it's also the camaraderie, you know. We help each other when we can, and I can only say that I've been a lucky one to be able to go through there.
Now, Campus Edge Finland, you look after marketing Go China specifically for the hotels in the Scandinavian markets and elsewhere in Europe. Is that correct?
Yes, I do, and when I have my contacts wherever, and when I meet them, I always try to ask them if they are interested in the Chinese market.
What is Go China as a product? What does it do, and how does it help those hotels that you speak to?
Well, they get their web pages in Chinese, and we do a good job with it. Campus Edge does an excellent job, and we have never had any problems with being blocked in China, which I think just a good example is Marriott, who made a mistake, and they were blocked for about, I don't know, 3 months, and 3,000 hotels suddenly didn't get reservations from China because somebody made a boo-boo. And I think that Go China can open the door, and now with this new alliance that we have, and we have a captive audience of 46 million loyalty members. I don't think any other loyalty program has so many members. I can't think of it. And you know, in a way, I'm thinking back when the Japanese started coming to Finland. They were very, you know, they had a lot to learn about the Western culture, and so do the Chinese. But the Chinese are coming in much bigger numbers than the Japanese. But the Japanese are now they come all the time, you know, and I hope that the Chinese will continue doing that to Finland too, and to the rest of the European countries.
Well, now Finland is and Scandinavian market is very interesting. Why is it appealing to the Chinese market? What is it about Finland and elsewhere in the region that is appealing to those tourists and visitors?
I think for the Chinese, the way I understand it, and having spoken to many Chinese, it's Santa, it's Aurora Borealis, the Northern Lights, it's the husky safaris. It's the one thing that the Chinese liked when they were only groups in the early 90s. They like the icebreaker cruise in Kemi, which is in Lapland. You have a wetsuit and you go and float in the ice water, which is a fantastic experience. And you know, the company I worked for before had Ramada Presidente at the time, which had the only casino in Finland. And of course we got a lot of Chinese groups. We had with Gulliver Travels at the time, 65 rooms every day of their groups of the year. So that's a lot of business. And of course the casino was a fantastic way of getting them. Today not. Today the casino is not in the hotel anymore, and we don't like to promote casinos anyway. I mean, it has to be that people want to go there, and that's it, you know.
Now, of course, you mentioned Father Christmas. It's only a couple of years ago the President of China went to see Father Christmas, with Christmas just only a month or so, 2 months away. How important is the Lapland market? And of course, there is Lapland hotels. What role do they play, and what role does Lapland as a destination play for the Chinese market?
Well, Lapland is an intriguing destination, I think, for the Chinese. It's very unique, you know, it's very dark, but it is not that dark because of the snow. And then if you see the Northern Lights, and they make a lot of noise, you know, you can say that it's like music in your ears to see and hear the Northern Lights. Lapland hotels they have the right name for the Chinese market, because Lapland is a brand that is known for them.
What do the hotels in Finland have to do, and elsewhere in the region have to do, to attract more Chinese to their properties?
I think that, you know, nobody comes to a hotel because of a hotel. So if it is the airline, in this case Finnair, has done a fantastic job in promoting Finland and the rest of Europe, because it's a gateway to the European countries and elsewhere also. And you need an airline that brings the tourists, and then the hotel is then up to the hotel that markets themselves best.
In terms of the different markets, China is such an enormous place. Are you seeing any trends? Like, what age group are you targeting with Go China at the hotels? What age group are we looking at for people coming into the Finland?
I think you look at the whole spectrum depending on what type of hotel. We have one hotel chain called Apple Hotels in English, called Omena in Finnish. And they have a lot of individual Chinese, and we are looking at individuals, and these are the people that are going to a hotel that is not that expensive. But then you have the high-end tourists that like the good service. We have a hotel called St. George in Helsinki, which is quite a new hotel and very exclusive. It's part of the Camp Collection chain.
How many hotels do you have in the region at the moment, and how many are you targeting for the years ahead?
I think the sky is the limit, but to be fair, I also have a principle that I do not sell to hotels that can't benefit from it. So basically it's Helsinki and Lapland at the moment, and Turku. We have Naantali Spa Hotel, which is next to the Moomin World. I don't know whether you're aware of Moomin. Even here in London you have a store in Covent Garden with the Moomins, and they attract both Chinese and Japanese. The Japanese were the first ones to love Moomin. It's like a Nickelodeon type of a thing. You're not laughing at somebody else's misery, so to speak, you know. I think the hotels can all benefit from this. It's not only reservations, it's also the marketing. You know, the people may book somewhere else, but at least they've spent some time on the web page of the hotel before they make their decision. And people think that you should get results tomorrow, but it doesn't work that way. And then when I compare, you know, when a hotel company sends a person to China on a road show, it's quite expensive. So if you are a small property, you don't have that kind of money to spend. So this is an excellent way of getting your word across, so to speak.
Now, today we're sat at the luxurious Ampersand Hotel in London. England is not known for its language skills, whereas Scandinavia very much is. A lot of the Scandinavian, the Dutch, are very good at languages. Is this something that the hotels are doing in terms of learning Chinese as a language?
Well, we have some Chinese that are working in Finland, and that of course helps. I think that a lot of people are trying to learn a little bit of Chinese, but then they have some telephone numbers that they can call. At least international chains have a helpline that you can have the person call. But I think also the Chinese are now speaking a bit more languages, you know, than before, and managing English reasonably well, but it takes time.
In terms of education, we started this interview talking a little bit about Cornell. How important is education from your perspective, and what do you do in Finland and elsewhere in the region to educate the hotels about the importance of the Chinese market and how Go China can help them target that particular market?
Well, I've been talking to in Haga Helia Applied Sciences, as I said, already a couple of times about how to attract Chinese tourists, and with HSMIE, Hotel Sales Management Association International, and the interest has been quite good, and the feedback has been good, but doesn't mean that, you know, we are trying to teach them a little bit about the culture, what the Chinese are looking for, and you have to be astute all the time because things are changing continuously. That's for sure. If nothing else is sure, change is sure.
Now, you're here at the World Travel Market in London for the World Travel Market, which takes place, well, starts today. What is it you're hoping to get out of the WTM while you're here in London?
Well, we have some good meetings scheduled, some big chains in Finland, and also in Tallinn, Estonia. You know, with Tallink Silja we have meetings, and with Sokos, you know, all the big chains in Finland that are here. And we also have Scandic that is on the pipeline, but you know, these big ships move very slowly, and as Scandic just purchased my former company Restel, not mine, but where I used to work, Restel Hotel Group, that means that they have a load full of work to do to assimilate those hotels into their system. And this just happened the end of last year.
In terms of the destination, Finland, we all know Helsinki, one of the best airports in the world. We've mentioned Lapland. Where else is there that people should be visiting, especially the Chinese market, when they come to the country?
I think Lakeland, the Finnish Lakeland, is quite nice. And you have to remember that if we have a very short winter period, I mean very short days during the winter, in the summer we have double time. There is no night. You know, you go to Lapland, the sun doesn't set for many months, you know, it doesn't get dark, and that's called the midnight sun, and I think we have to start promoting that again. But of course, when you take a flight and then it's cloudy, but that we can't control yet.
And finally, for my final question, if a hotel is watching this in Finland thinking, yes, I want to get more Chinese guests, I'm not sure how to do it, what is the process they must follow with you to be able to get involved with Go China?
Just get in touch with me and I'll give them the whole presentation, and then we take it from there.
And how long does that process take roughly?
It doesn't. I had one guy that joined us, he called me, this is what I'm looking for, and the following day we started working on the contract, and things worked out pretty fast.
Excellent. Well, Dave, I have to say thank you very much indeed for your time today, and of course I wish you and Campus Edge Finland the best of luck for the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Stephen. Thank you.